Matt Arrington here, Director of Soccer with DC Soccer Club. Essentially tonight we're really fortunate to have Russell Canouse out here joining us from DC United. Having someone of his caliber, a professional who's basically made his way up through the United States, growing up in Pennsylvania, playing professionally overseas in Germany, and obviously now featuring for DC United for the last few years. Having him out training with us and with our boys is really special for us. The fact that he can pass on that experience and that information and share with these guys kind of what he's learned over the years and pass on some of that knowledge so they can add it to their game is really something special for us, right? Being the biggest club in DC, it's great for us to have a connection with a player who is plying his trade professionally here in DC. So tonight, essentially, he's got the boys doing passing activity, using some of his pass back boards, receiving, turning, using different stimulus and reactions based on the board's lights. It's great for these kids' development, and again, having him there on site with the ability to give immediate feedback to these guys is super special. We're really, really happy to have him with us tonight.
I'm Russell Canouse, DC United midfielder number 6, originally from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and been with the club for 7 years now. I'm here at DC Soccer Club. We put on a good training session, brought out some of my Technic trainer products for the guys. It was a great session. Being able to be a part of DC, being able to come out and see these local kids and work with them to obviously get better, but also meet them as well. So I really enjoyed being here tonight and being able to work with them and obviously introduce my company's product as well. So I'm originally from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Do you guys know PA Classics? That was my original club. I played a year in New York Red Bull Academy and then moved overseas to Germany. So I did not go to college. I spent 6.5 years in Germany, 5.5 at Hoffenheim. In the academy. So I started U17. I moved over there when I was 15 years old. So I went through U17, U19, under 23, and then made my debut in the Bundesliga with Hoffenheim. And then I spent a year on loan in Bochum in the second division. They're in the first division now, but at that time I was in the second league. So I didn't go the college route. I always made sure from a school standpoint, I took care of my grades. That was a priority for me. When I signed in Germany, I waited a year before just to see how I liked it because I wanted to keep my college eligibility open. But if I would have went to school, I probably would have went to University of Maryland. That was one of the schools I was targeting, but I did not go to college. So great question.
How long have you been playing soccer?
Oh man. I'm 29 now, so I started probably when I was 4 or 5 years old. 5 years old, so 24 years. Yep.
Have you ever had any bad injuries and how have you dealt with them?
Yeah, lots of injuries. It's part of your career. I think the question of how you deal with them is important. For me, I went through one this year, very difficult. I'm not going to get into all the details, but it required multiple surgeries. I'm back healthy, but there's lots of times where you go through tough moments, and it doesn't have to be injuries. It can be, my mom passing away, certain things like that happened during my career. And for me, soccer was always my escape. When you have an injury and you can't do it, for me, it was all about working my hardest and being smart about trying to get back. But yeah, sometimes you can get down when you have an injury, but life goes on. You always end up coming out of it. As long as you have the right mindset to whether you're healthy and training all the time or you're injured and having to work on your rehab and making sure you're healthy to get back healthy, that's the mindset you have to keep. No matter if you're playing every game, on the bench, injured, if you work hard every single day, that will carry you, through your career, through your life, good and bad times.
Who inspired you?
I would say my dad initially. In terms of like players I've looked up to, I mean, I was a big Manchester United fan growing up. Yeah, rough now, but that was, Cristiano Ronaldo was there, Wayne Rooney. I got to play with Wayne Rooney when he was in DC United, really talented. So those guys, I mean, if you're talking people I looked up to soccer, like those were my idols then.
Who's the hardest player you've ever played against?
Hardest player. I didn't play Messi when I was out this year when we played Inter Miami, or else I would say Messi. One of the guys that this is a different one, but he was at Hoffenheim before he went to Liverpool. Roberto Firmino, you guys know him?
Yes.
He was incredible. Like, he didn't start out really good at Hoffenheim, like his first year when he moved in from Brazil, but once he started to feel comfortable in Germany, I would get called up to play with the first team and train. And like, defending him in training was very difficult. Like, I would try to block a shot and he'd somehow put it through my legs every single time. Obviously, he went on to Liverpool and was a great striker. But he's one of the players that's like not a common one you hear, but he was really good. Yeah, it's tough. You know, those games are more pressure situations, but I've played thousands of games during my career. So, you know, once you're in the game, a lot of the times it just, you know, the pressure, you forget about it and you go out and play your game. You know, when you talk about like fans in the stadium, it seems crazy to go out there and play in front of that many fans. But when you're in the game and you've played the game you've played since I was 5-6 years old all the way up, it just comes natural. So you end up not getting, I'm always nervous still before games. I get butterflies, but once the game starts, it's, you know, it goes away. You had back there one, right? Okay, you're good.
What's the biggest game you've ever played?
I don't know if it's the biggest, but well, there's two games. So my debut in the Bundesliga in Germany was a big one for me, because that's what you dream about. And then there was I played the U19 Bundesliga championship game, and we won that title. So that was a really big one for me. I know it was not a professional level, but like, I look back at my career and that's one of the moments that sticks out.